Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Debategate here at the High Stakes Sports Debates Network. Thank you guys for joining us on this fine Friday evening here on the East Coast. Hope everybody has a great weekend. And before we jump into the content, just show some love to those thumbs up or down, whether you like or dislike the content. So, as you guys can see from the title below, we're talking about Wild Card Weekend. Yes, it's that time of the NFL season. Season's over. Second season has begun. And the records and the stats and everything doesn't matter because it all matters about who comes to play on Sunday. So we're going to pick the matchups, kind of digress about them, examine them a little bit, and we're going to pick our games. So, excuse me. Let's jump right into the first matchup here. And we're going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. And I am picking the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this football game. And if you disagree with any of my picks, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. The reason why I'm going with Pittsburgh is simple. A.J. McCarron's under center for the Bengals, and I'm just not sold. I'm not sold on Marvin Lewis. I've never been sold on Marvin Lewis, and I just don't think when it comes down to coaching, when it comes down to crunch time, that he can be the coach that you need him to be. Much like a Tom Coughlin, a Bill Belichick, even Rex Ryan to an extent in those early playoff runs he made early in his career in 08-09 or 09-10, excuse me. Really kind of elevating his team, getting hot at the right time. I'm not seeing it from Cincy. Even with Dalton under center, I probably would pick the Steelers. Now, I will be honest with you guys. I'm a little bit worried about the Steelers' running game. No D'Angelo Williams is a bit scary. We saw last year when the Steelers had to play in Baltimore, it was kind of tough for Pittsburgh without a running game. Cincinnati's going to try to shut down or contain, because you don't shut down Antonio Brown. They're going to try to contain Antonio Brown. So, I'm sorry. So again, my X factor here is Martavis Bryant, second-year wide receiver from Clemson. You have to step up. Obviously, you guys, you saw the reports, coming into this week that Ben called out Martavis. Listen, dude, we need you to step up. We need you to make plays. And while Martavis Bryant's dynamic, he's fast, he's big, he's freakish, the guy still needs to develop those hands, those Dez Bryant sort of being able to high point catches and come down with them. That's a skill right now that Martavis Bryant definitely needs to come up big time here. I also think Marcus Wheaton is going to be a big asset for the Steelers. Again, they run a lot of three wide receiver sets. That's what Todd Haley likes to do in this offense. So, he's going to have to step up. How the Bengals win, simple. They're going to have to run the ball against that. I think they finished top 5. Don't quote me on that. But the Steelers, while their secondary is complete trash, their front seven is actually really solid. They've been pretty stout against the run all season. So that's my X factor. Can Cincy get the run game going? And can Cincy attack the weak secondary unit of the Steelers with A.J. McCarron? So guys like A.J. Green, Tyler Eifert, Marvin Jones, Mohamed Sanu, this is your time to step up. You gotta get it done. So I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I will say this though, the last time Ben Roethlisberger has played, the last 2 times Roethlisberger's played the Bengals, he's had 5 interceptions. So if the Bengals want a shot at beating Pittsburgh, they're going to have to get turnovers. So, moving on to the next game, the Kansas City Chiefs, 5 seed, will travel to the Houston Texans, the AFC South divisional champions, for a nice showdown in Reliant Stadium. I've got the Chiefs winning this game, and here's why. I just think they've got a full team, a little bit more of a complete team right now than Houston. There's no questioning DeAndre Hopkins. He's a stud. He's going to be a superstar in the NFL. If not, he already is. But where's the other playmaker for Houston to step up? Nate Washington, Alfred Blue, Christian Polk. You need someone else to kind of take a little bit of pressure off DeAndre Hopkins. And now that it's playoff time and guys are serious, guys are playing their hearts out, I'm just not sure, especially with Brandon Weeden under center, I'm just not sure they've got that other guy. We saw recently at the end of the season when DeAndre Hopkins played God mode for your fantasy roster all year, he really, honestly, a lot of the time he faced single coverage. Teams finally started to wise up and they were like, okay, we can't let this guy run rampant on us. So, you know what? He really hasn't lit up the stat sheet. So, and there's no questioning his talent. Can he provide enough offensive production for the Texans to win, especially with Kansas City's defense? It's pretty good last time I checked. So, and that's ultimately why I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm not sold on Alex Smith and this dink and dunk offense. I really couldn't care less about how Alex Smith likes to throw the ball 8 millimeters down the field. Frankly, I get that the Chiefs are in the playoffs, but I'm ready to watch this guy walk out the door. I think they can find a better quarterback option. Point is, I think Kansas City has a more complete team right now. Andy Reid's a solid coach. He's done a decent job in the playoffs. Remember, 5 NFC championship games with the Eagles. And it doesn't matter who they plugged in running back, Charkandrick West, Spencer Ware. Hell, again, you could probably find Bob Barker's old ass and chug him back there, and you could probably salvage a decent yards per carry average. That's how good this offensive line has been playing with former first overall pick Eric Fisher really mounting to form. So I got the Chiefs going in and getting a win. However, if Jadeveon Clowney and Watt can step up and make their life miserable, that's the only shot I think they have to win. But the Texans better put up some points. If they don't put up at least 20 points, I'm not sure if they're going to win. The next wild card game, Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks will be traveling to the Minnesota Vikings to take on, the Minnesota Vikings travel to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. I've got Seattle winning this game. A lot of you guys know I am a big fan of Russell Wilson, but when I look at the matchup on paper, I don't think Minnesota matches up well. When Minnesota's strength is Adrian Peterson and the Seahawks' defense strength this year is rush defense, because I believe the Seahawks finished first in the league in rush defense, if not top 3. Don't quote me on that number 1, but I know for a fact they finished in the top 3. Then you have to rely on Teddy Bridgewater to beat you. And all season, while at the end of his rookie year, we saw Bridgewater kind of progress a little bit, I definitely think he took a step back in his sophomore season. Not to mention Richard Sherman and co. look to lock down, dang, what's this guy's name? I'm brain farting right now here. Stephon Diggs. Thank you, Tom. I think he'll lock down Stephon Diggs, and I'm not sure if Bridgewater will be able to find other targets. I think Kyle Rudolph might be an X factor because we know that the Seahawks struggle against the tight end. Defensively, though, I do believe the Vikings will be able to get to Russell Wilson. Now, we also know Wilson has legs. He's slippery. He can avoid pressure. So they're going to have their hands caught up. Listen, everybody's narrative argument is, they're not playing in Seattle. Well, I think this team is built to travel decently well. I'm putting my money into Russell Wilson. And not to mention, this team went into Minnesota a few weeks ago. Now, they were missing some of their defensive stars, like Barr, one of their safeties. So, it's going to be different. The playoffs is different, but, and let's not forget, the Seahawks are going to have beast mode. So I think that's also something that works in their favor. I just think Wilson's too dynamic for the Vikings to stop. So I'm going with Seattle. In the final wild card game, the Redskins are hosting the Packers. I'm going to shock everybody here. Well, maybe it's not a shock. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. And I know it's like, wait, what? None of those receivers can get separation. Their offensive line is terrible. Eddie Lacy's been a plotter this season. There's just something about Kirk Cousins. Can you rise up in a playoff game? You had a relatively easy schedule. You didn't really play top teams. The teams that you lost to are all winning teams. You didn't really beat anybody that's intimidating. And listen, Jordan Reed's a stud. You know what Jackson provides. You know what Pierre Garçon and Alfred Morris and Jones and those boys. They've got offensive talent, and I'm not denying that. I do trust Rodgers a little bit more here. I am worried about the pass protection for the Packers. I guess the reason why I'm picking the Packers is just because I haven't seen Kirk Cousins do it in the playoffs consistently, and Rodgers has. So, but that could be a trap game. I very well believe that the Skins have a very 50-50 shot to win. I'm going to go with the proven guy. And I think this team steps up and plays big. I mean, look how they played in Seattle last year. No one gave them a shot to win that game. And if it wasn't for a dropped onside kick, they would have won. So those are my AFC wildcard picks, guys. I am taking the Chiefs, Steelers, Packers, and Seahawks all to get it. Wow, I've got all the wild card. I've got all the road teams winning, guys. So I'm probably going to be wrong on one of those. We'll see which one it is. So if you guys disagree with my picks, please let me know in the comments section below. Also, if you haven't checked out Rebel Media Group, go ahead and do so. It's a great sports information website. Those links will be in the description below. Again, Dynasty Fantasy Football players, check out Dynasty Nerds. They do a great podcast. I personally write for them. Those links will be in the description below. The Fantasy Podcast will be coming back soon. We're going to be getting ready for baseball pretty soon. I am in a baseball Dynasty League, and that is very fun. I'll never stop with the NFL. You guys will have consistent Dynasty coverage and fantasy coverage throughout the offseason. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, don't forget to show some love to those thumbs up or down, whether you like the content or not. Subscribe, because we're back in the groove of things now that the holiday season is over. So if your team made the playoffs, good luck to your team. I hope they win. Hope the Giants find a pretty good coach. I hate you, John Mara, you arrogant fool. You should not have gotten rid of Tom Coughlin. Should have gotten rid of Jerry Reese, and you will regret that. Any Giants fans are watching, I'm sorry. The Giants will enter a period of darkness. It's just a matter of time. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. This was High Stakes Sports Debates, baby. Thank you guys for keeping it locked in, and we'll see you here next time. High Stakes Sports Debates.